All right, hello everybody, Seth Wilkinson from SealRyt Corporation, manufacturers of the Packrite bearing and high performance mechanical packing. Here today for the Pump Seal channel to talk to you about one of our preeminent packings, 7413. Here it is. All right, story behind 7413 very briefly. We were approached by Andritz, which is undoubtedly the largest supplier and manufacturer of fiber line and pulp mill equipment in the world. Well, they had a bit of an issue and they needed a specific packing that would last 18 months inside of their fiber line equipment. So we're talking high pressure feeders, low pressure feeders, but really the big one was the outlet device and the top separator. Now, mind you, this had not been done. Many of the other manufacturers, including ourselves, had always tried to achieve at least a year. A year was the benchmark, and many times that would fall short. But Andritz asked that we put our heads together on a packing that would go for 18 months, and on top of that, warranty it. So imagine the uphill battle that we had. So sitting down thinking about it, and how packing is actually manufactured. And specifically when you're dealing with fiber line equipment, everything is right around 7/8 cross section, so that's this dimension here, or higher. What people don't understand is that in manufactured braided packing, the same machine that makes 3/8 packing will make all the way up through to 1 inch or even higher. That alone, when you start getting into the higher cross-section, the larger cross-section packings, it naturally induces a lot of air in there. And what other manufacturers will do then is try to fill those air voids with lubricants, with fillers, things that aren't quite as dense. Okay, I'm not going to get into actually how it's manufactured, but I'm just going to say that when you start getting into larger cross-sections, you have more, it's more apt to have higher compressibility. So that's what was happening with a lot of fiber line equipment, is you're putting these large cross-section packings in, and you would find that they would compress a lot faster than the smaller cross-section packings, but they would compress a lot faster. And so what would end up happening is that equipment would run out of adjustment, it would start leaking, cause you trouble, and that would happen far shy of that 1 year benchmark between annual outages. Never mind that 18-month bar that was set for us. So we had to develop a way to create a packing that could deal with that level of compression and that level of abuse over 18 months. So we knew we had to develop something that was unique, that it wasn't only about the actual yarns that we were putting into the packing, as much as is just as much and equally important as how we manufactured the actual packing itself. So I think we've nailed it. How did we do this? Okay, quite simply, we pre-twisted all of our yarns prior to going into the packing itself. We twist them at a very, very specific rate. All right, and then once we put them onto the machine, we use a series of weights which actually pull down and pull tension onto each individual twisted yarn on a bobbin, and then from there we added an extremely dense core. So we broke down this packing not just as a whole, but we broke it down into quadrants. By doing so, we focused on each quadrant, making sure everything was symmetrical, but that we had maximum density throughout this entire packing based on each quadrant. That was where we focused. Through the adjustment of the weight distribution, through gearing, and through the manufacture of, again, like I said, a very, very dense core, we were able to achieve the goal. We were able to achieve that 18-month mark that Andritz had set out for us. On top of that, we have had some vessels that have been with the same packing and the same setup for up to 5 years. So we've greatly exceeded what it is that we had set out to do The materials themselves, well, I'll tell you the first thing, they're nothing special. They're nothing that we don't use in a lot of our other styles. It's just how we mated each of those yarns together, where we put them specifically in the packing, and paid attention to that actual process of manufacturing. So with that, we also have had a lot of other applications come our way that aren't in pulp and paper, just due to the ability for this packing to be so resilient, so dense, that a lot of other processes that have large, slow rotating equipment have come to us looking for a packing that will last, and they have found it with our 7413. So not to get too much into our trade secrets, but that's just a very brief explanation of why does this stuff work so well. Well, that's why. Quality yarns, and we pay attention to every single step of manufacture along the way to ensure that this product will not let you down. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at SealRyt. Other than that, have a great day.